Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the flight deck. We're here in Entebbe in Uganda on the ramp here on the old cargo terminal. Did a little bit of research. There's a new one, not modeled on this map though. And but here we are. We're flying the DC-6 once again, and we're going to be heading from here across Kenya and then south to Tanzania. Nice coastal flight for part of it, and I believe we'll be passing over Zanzibar, which is pretty cool. But anyway, we're here ready to go. It's a lovely day here in Africa, so let's hop on board and get the aircraft set up and up and running. Alright, so first thing we're going to do once again is get these windows open because it is hot here. We've had the door open, providing a little bit of air. There we go. Alright, so we're going to pop down, we'll pull up the pad, and we'll get the before start checks underway.
Cockpit pre-flight.
While they're doing this, we'll just take a quick look at our route for today. We'll be flying at 13,000 feet.
Completed. Voice recorder.
And here you can see we're currently up here on the top of Lake Victoria at Entebbe. We're going to fly eastwards across the top of the lake, down across Kenya all the way to the Indian Ocean, and then down, crossing Zanzibar and into Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. So that is the planned route for today, and it should be a good one. And once again, Kevin is flying along as well. Alright, we're going to pop over to the radios, and over on COM 2, 121.5 as per normal. Discard channel. That is now set.
Closed.
We'll clear the messages.
Door warning lights.
Alright, so the first VOR we're going to be following is the Entebbe VOR, November.
Seat belts and pedals.
So we're going to set that in
Adjusted.
on our
Throttles.
nav
Set
1.
to idle.
1175 for that one.
Forward and 3.
That is set. We'll switch that over. The next one we're going to pick up is the Kilo India Victor VOR on
Before start
1141.
checks complete. Start engines.
We'll get that one dialed in. There's 1141 there. We'll put that over on the other side so we can watch where that comes in. And after that will be the November Victor VOR 1131. So we'll get that in the standby there. And that is set. Final thing we'll do, we'll come down here to the radio, and we're going to get set on 122.8, which is VATSim Unicom. And that is now up there. Alright, so we're back down here. We have to set our heading. So it's going to be roughly a 93-degree heading on the outbound. And it looks like we may... Oh, we're not picking it up yet, so that's fine. So we're going to set the 93-degree radio, just so that we have something to track outwards as we head off towards the next VOR. Now we'll grab the weather quickly. We'll get the update here. So updated at 1200 Zulu. So that's just about an hour ago. $1016 is the current barrow, so we'll get that in. There we go, 1016. And same as on the other side. As you can see, winds are 140 at 12, so we're going to be taking off on runway 17. Heading south, we'll fly out over the lake and then make our turn. So one last thing to do. As we come in here, we're going to go to our fuel and load manager, and we're going to set our weights. Make sure that we are good there. So today we are flying at 13,000 feet. We have 20,341 pounds of cargo, and we're going to be carrying 10,509 pounds of fuel. So we're just going to come in here. We'll drop the fuel down to 10,000. We want 509, or as close as we can get it. So 515 is good. 10, 5, 15. And for our weights, we'll put 3 clicks in the back. And then we're going to come down here to our gross weight. We're going to match gross weight. So we want to take off weight of 87,048. So we're going to take it up to 87. 87,050, and that is going to be our weights for today. Fuel is all in the main tanks, nothing in the alternates, and we're under our gross weight, but we are over our wet takeoff, and of course being hot down here. Current temperature in Entebbe here on Lake Victoria, 28 degrees Celsius. Not too bad. We are a couple we're a couple thousand feet up, as you can see, as well. 3,700 something feet up, so it's going to be a little thin up here, so we will use the wet takeoff. We're also going to come down here. We're going to set our pressurization to 13. Oop. I'll watch that mouse button clicking. 13,000 feet. For our pressurization, and that is set. All right, so engines are ready to go. Roger's in, Fred's in, doors are closed. We'll get them all seated. Engine 3 mixture is in Rich. We pop up top here. We can see mags are on both. Starter switch is set to engine number 3. Fuel pumps are on, and we are ready to go. Just do a quick radio check. Entebbe Terminal, Caribou 32 radio check.
5x5, how many for box 553?
5x5.
Thank you.
All right, so we are good. Everything is good. We are clear. We'll do a final check around. See where we're sitting here. We're not going to push. What we're going to do is basically start on the stand, and then we will just rotate out. And we're going to be heading out this way up to the top of the runway, which is over there. Entebbe area traffic, Caribou 32 starting on stand. All right. Start engine 3.
And Entebbe traffic box 553, setting and send to those.
3, 6, 9, 12.
All right, we are up and running. There's engine number 3. We'll wait for the click. There it is. We'll bring engine 4 mixture to full rich. Engine 4 mags to both. Fuel pump on. Engine start selector over to engine 4. Starting 4. Prime and boost. There we go. Good start. Engine 3 coming down to low idle. Waiting to hear the starter cutoff. There she is. So engine 2 full rich. Mags to both. Fuel pump on. Start selector to engine 2. Starting engine number 2.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Good start on engine number 2. Engine number 4 coming back to low idle. There's starter cutoff. We'll come up here for engine number 1. Mixture to both. Start selector to 1. Fuel pumps on. Starting engine number 1. we go. Engine number 1 is up and running. And it looks like we got 4 good starts. And that we do. Engine number 2 back to low idle. And there's all the switches cut out. Engine number 1 can come back to low idle. Just gonna pop up here while the engines start to warm up. Switch over to there. Back down here, we can do our after start checks, please.
Start selected bus pumps. Off and off. Battery switch. Flame venting. Generators and inverters. Check and on. Emergency lights. Off. Ground power. Removed. Off to start checks complete.
So everything is done. The aircraft is clear. After start checks are done, we'll come down to the maintenance. Just make sure we indicate that we did top up fluids.
Entebbe traffic box FS
as
stand
we
2
went.
or stand 3. We're going to push straight back.
And we are good there. So fluids are good, engine oil is good, and we are currently sitting at 55.6 hours on this airframe. Not too bad. So with our checks done, we're ready to taxi. And looks like Kevin is moving backwards. There he goes. Alright. We'll do the same thing. Entebbe area traffic, Caribou 32, pushing back, straight back, stand 1 cargo area. Alright, so in order to do this, we're going to come down here, we're going to engage the reversers. We're going to go to manual brakes and release the brakes. And then we're going to come up on the power. And it should start to move us backwards. Although unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't work. So we're going to come off the reversers.
Entebbe traffic box FS 3 taxiing runway 17, hold the point Charlie, taxiing via Delta Echo Charlie.
There we go. We're just going to rotate in position then. And we bring up my chart. So that didn't work. Where are you going? Delta, Charlie 3. Delta, we want to cross over. Entebbe area traffic, Caribou 32 taxiing runway 17 via Delta, crossing runway 12 to it's like holding point Alpha 4. Alright, let's get around so we can see. If you didn't want to back up, that's fine. Spinner in place. actually has a pretty good turning circle, so we'll be able to do this. We'll ignore the equipment.
Entebbe traffic box 553, customer 12, what's Charlie?
Here's the problem, Robert, with the pushback is the you can't start the engines and then push back, so what you end up having to do is hook up to the push cart, and you can't start off batteries. You need the ground power for your engine starts. So you end up sitting there doing your engine start with them telling you to release the parking brake constantly over and over. It's just a bit of a pain. So I choose not to do it that way. You know, if they would just be quiet and wouldn't constantly say release parking brake every 5 seconds while you were going through the procedure, that would be fine. You could hook up and then do it, but as soon as you hook up, they start in on you.
Entebbe traffic box 553, taking Mr. 17, that's Charlie, we're departing to the east.
I have no Charlie. I have just Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Alpha 3, and Alpha 4. My charts don't match what the ground layout here is. That's interesting. So was that hill? This says Charlie, or my chart says Delta. Scenery is based on charts from 2010. I see. So we're going to stop at the line here, then we'll do our before takeoff checklist, and that should give Kevin some spacing there. He's already up and going, not wasting any time today. Gentlemen, before takeoff checklist.
First pumps. First pumps on low. Fuel selector and crossfeed. Main tanks and crossfeed.
Hi, Fly Guy.
Autopilot and crossfeed.
Yeah, we're heading all the way down to South Africa.
The advised climate is absolutely abysmal today. I was at V2 plus time and I rotated.
Down, forward, pressure and quantity checked. Okay. Flaps 20.
Roger, thanks for the heads up.
No worries.
Whoever created the scenery was using old data. This is apparently done by Asobo, so I don't know why it would be that far out of date, but I'm using my Navigraph charts have different labeling on everything.
Closed and on. Controls. Gas lock released. Free.
The Windows are locked.
On. Mixture and cowl flaps. Reach unlocked. Set. Transponder. On. Landing lights.
Transponder set to 1000. Landing lights are the last thing that are going to come on. They're extending the main ones out now.
Extended and on. Before takeoff checks complete.
There we go. Entebbe area traffic, Caribou 32, take position runway 17. Let's move out. Robert, yes, Dar es Salaam is in Tanzania, but the ultimate destination is Capetown in South Africa. So we've got a couple more legs to go on this trip. We started off in London, and we've worked our way down through down to Gibraltar, then across the Mediterranean to Cairo, and now we're heading down the east coast of Africa. So it's part of a series. And there we are, lined up. So we're going to have a little bit of a crosswind out to the left, that's fine. And we're going to do a wet takeoff given the higher altitude, high temperature, and in fact our weight is just slightly over the minimum for wets.
Water injection.
Water injection is on.
On. 30 inches stabilize. 30 inches stabilize.
Engine's coming up to 30 inches.
Stabilized. Cowl flaps. Cowl flaps. Cowl flaps set. Full power, please. Going full power.
It's going to be 58 inches. Water injection's on.
Full power set.
Rolling. Entebbe area traffic, Caribou 32 rolling runway 17, departure to the east. A little bit of aileron in. Just past the NDB, or the VOR. It's 80 knots. Gonna rotate it about 115, 100 knots, 110, back pressure 115, and we're up.
Buzzer rate, gear up. Gear selected up.
It's gonna be a slow climb out. It is hot here, thin air, higher elevation. We're not going to rush it.
Lights up, pipes up, flaps going up.
Flaps coming up. We're going to climb to 4,700 feet and then we'll make our turn.
Setting meter power, 48 inches, 2,600 RPM.
That'll be about 1,000 feet above the ground. Making our turn.
Meter power set. Climb power. Setting climb power.
We're turn to about
Climb power set.
70 degrees and then
Helicopter
intercept
request, please.
that radial. Or we're just watching the needle come in. We might get to it beforehand.
After takeoff checks complete.
70 degrees. Alright, we're going to come down now. Gyro pilot on. And we're going to get that nose down a little bit. Get our speed to about 165 or so for the climb. So the VOR station is passing off our shoulder here. There's the airport. And we're looking for that radial coming in. Bring that pitch wheel back. Work to get that speed back to that 170. You're only getting a climb speed about 150 knots. Should be doing better than that. Or is that your ground speed? Not even that, it should still be better than that. Here's the radial coming in. There we're down to about 170. But good. It is hot out here, but not too bad. Yeah, colder. Yeah, it makes a big difference. Huge difference. And as soon as that VOR needle lines up, we will turn on localizer follow, or yeah, localizer mode. Follow the VOR radial. It's 137 miles to the next one, so that's going to be a little bit before it comes in. My gross weight was 88,000. Let me just go take a look. 87,050, I think I ended up being. Oh, there we are. There's the localizer. Over we go. That's including the sandwiches that Fred brought. And there's 8,000 feet. Entebbe area traffic. Caribou 32 is 12.5 miles to the east, climbing through 8,000 feet. Last call for Entebbe. Oh, another VOR is kicked in. We're going to maintain this one until we reach 13,000 feet for our climb. Settled in nicely into the climb now. We've got about a 750, 760 foot per minute climb. Airspeed's 170. We're coming up on 9,000 feet, so we got 4,000 to go. A bit heavier than, yeah, it could be. Depends on what our loading was. And there's the north shore of Lake Victoria. One thing I don't know is where the Victoria Falls are. So the KIV VOR is on the far eastern side of Lake Victoria in Kenya. So then we're going to be turning kind of southeast. We're going to fly down over Kenya towards, as I mentioned, the Indian Ocean. And then it's a hard right down along the Indian Ocean coast, crossing Zanzibar and into Dar es Salaam. 3,000 to go. Watching our outside air temperature. I think we're down below 10 degrees. We're now down below 10 degrees. So we're going to pop up top and we will turn on our windshield heaters for the 10 to minus 0. Or 10 to minus 0? 10 to 0 setting. Just adds a little bit of heat to the window just in case there's some precipitation. Don't want to get freezing there with the wind and the wind chill effect and all that stuff. 11,000 feet. We're still climbing nicely. Coming up on 30 miles away from our start point. Thousand to go. So in this, the gyro pilot is best engaged at a below 500 foot per minute climb. So when we reach 500 feet, we'll slowly start putting in some downwards on the pitch to start to level us off, increase our speed, and to decrease that rate of climb. So when we reach 13,000 feet, we're not going that fast in a vertical direction. $400 to go. $300. $200. 100 feet to go. (13,000 feet). Altitude hold is now on. And everything is good up there. So we're now level 13,000 feet. Speed's coming up. We can do our cruise.
Set cruise power, please. Setting cruise power. Cruise power is set.
Just waiting for the cruise checks to be done. There's the fuel flow coming back as we go into auto lean. Engines are being
Cruise checks
reset,
are complete.
and we are now officially in cruise. So with that done, what we're going to do is we're going to pop up and switch over on our radios. First thing we're going to do is go back to gyro mode. We're going to pop up top. We're going to switch over to the next VOR. We're going to dial in the next one, which is 113. Oops. That down 1131. Switch over here to 1131 here, and we're going to go to 1123, which is the next one there. There we go. So that is all now set. We are 95 miles away. I'm just going to make a slight adjustment here. Now we'll stick with that radial. That's fine. And we'll come back down here, engage the localizer. And we're going to fly onto this radial, and we'll pick that up and track that inbound. So the next one, the NV VOR is 152 miles from the KIV, so we'll be doing an outbound track off KIV for a while until we pick up NV. After that, we got a large gap of about 225 miles. So given these are highs, we're picking them up a little early. We may only have a 10 or 15 mile gap between where we're not picking up anything, but we can just dead reckoning for that. All right, with that done and ourselves kind of stable, let's see what we can do about a little bit of tunage in the background. What do we want to do today? Let's go with some blues. Now we are going to be hearing the aircraft droning. As we truck along. So I'm going to go off mic for a little bit here. I got to go look after Molly. Let's get a better view of the front. There we go. You got a ground speed of 214. I have a ground speed of 242. Interesting. Wonder why you're so slow. Anyway, there's our forward view. We'll keep an eye out for Kevin. We are behind him. And I'm going to go look after Molly for a little bit, and I will be back in a minute. Alright, we're about 55 miles out from the VOR, which is just on the other side of the lake here. And we're shortly going to cross into Kenya. So you're 234 now? Okay, I'm 244. It's weird, especially, I think you said we're at the same altitude as well. Interesting. Did you get your aircraft serviced in Entebbe? So it looks like the VOR is located somewhere around here. We've got 50 miles to go. Do a quick gauge check as we come down now that we're settled into the cruise and everything is stabilized. So temperatures, pressures are all looking good. Fuel flow is looking good at around 600 pounds per engine per hour. Temperature has gone down to 3.5 to 4 degrees. And everything else is looking good, which is good. We got the heat on because we are coming into clouds at this level. Well, how much time have you got on them? If I look at mine, I got 27. I haven't done anything to mine since Edinburgh. And mine are still all green. Crossing into Kenya now. Another place on my list to visit, especially with some of the safaris you can do out this way. Hours. So I've got like double the time. I don't know what's going on there. Why your speed so slow? Still not seeing you. $40 miles out from the VOR. Yes. And he's monitoring it. Well, I've got it on cruise. He's monitoring everything. He's doing carb heat for icing. He's making minute power adjustments as the atmosphere changes outside. So, yeah, he's taking care of a lot of that stuff. That's what I pay him the big buck. Well, that's what the company pays him the big buck for. Well, I got some high grounds over there. Part of that central mountain range here in Africa. So as per normal, when we reach about 10 miles out from the VOR, we're going to switch over to gyro tracking. Dial in the new radio, which is the 117 degree radio. And then when we get up to it, we'll engage and fly that radio outbound. That'll do it. Marginally out from what he has. Yeah, I'm sure it will. Maybe in Tanzania, you and him can get together and he can teach you how to do it to get better performance. Although you're using charts, aren't you? Like you've actually got DC-6 charts that you're using for these settings. Not seeing you ahead yet. Yeah, I guess it's all individual. And the other thing is, depending on like I'm wondering about engine variants, because obviously the charge would be specific to the engine and the airframe. And if you're running charts from a slightly different variant of the engine, I wonder if that could have an impact as well. Instead of like a, because these are double wasps, so these are 2800s, but if they were like 2800 A4s instead of A3s or something, it might have a slightly different impact. Charts are? Oh, so they should match the aircraft. At least you would think so anyway. So for those watching, we are on VATSim, however, we don't get a lot of traffic out here on the VATSim network. ATC wise, we might get them down in South Africa, but I think we saw one guy out in I can't remember what country it was, but that was about it. So unfortunately, while we're up on ATC, there is none. Left the deserts of North Africa, we're down into the greener belts in Central Africa. Starting to get some weather building up by the looks of it. I'm just going to pull up my weather on the charts and see what it's showing, what we can expect. Well, that was useless. We have no weather reporting for Africa. But obviously we've got some weather ahead of us. come down now. Switch over to gyro. And we're going to dial in here on the HSI. We're going to go to 117. It's 110. 5. Somewhere about there. Pick up that radial. Outbound from the VOR in about 10 miles or so. At about 10 miles, we'll make a turn to close to that, and then we'll ease into it. Go to about a 110. That'll be in about 8 miles. Fuel check, everything is looking good. Over 3 hours of fuel on board at this point. Come down here so we can get the controls. There's 7 miles. Speed's coming back a little bit as well. I wonder if the winds are changing out here. Starting to get more of a headwind. Edge the turn over. Start a slow turn towards 110 degrees. Tops of the clouds here. Yeah, looks like we definitely got some wind shifting around. My ground speed's down to 210. Flying this heading until we intercept. VOR is passing off to our left side. Just wait to pick up that radial. There she is. Another localizer. We'll make a turn now. Check the winds. Not sure if they'll give us winds here or not. Sort of is. Yeah, we're into a bit of a headwind. No real wind reporting going on at these altitudes either, so there we go. Alright, we're back up to 236. definitely got some weather we're going to be flying through, these clouds anyway. Alright, we're going to cruise along here. We're watching for VOR2 to come in. And when it does, I'll come back on the mic and we'll do the switch over. I'll be kicking around in the chat, getting some other stuff done as well. So say hi if you're watching, and we'll be back on mic shortly. Alright, VOR2 has come in, so we're going to go up to the nav radio, switch over, and we'll get set up on an inbound radio. So over to gyro pilot, up we go. We're going to switch over to 113.1. We'll dial the next one in here, which is going to be 112.3. And that's it. And then after that, it's going to be DVVOR, which is actually on the field at our destination, Dar es Salaam. So there's 112.7 is now in. On standby on that too. Down we go. We're tracking inbound. We can just leave it on that radio. We'll switch back over to localizer. We'll make a slight adjustment to center. And we're 82 miles inbound. And that is the November Victor VOR or the Navex VOR. Still got a bit of mountainous area, hilly area to go through. And then eventually we'll be heading down towards the coast. But sure is very different than the northern desert region. See the undulating hills here. And rain. And Kevin's lights. Finally pick them up there. Alright. We're going to be passing through the rain, so let's get a nice view. Let's go to there. There we go. There's Kevin up there. And I'll be back again. heading. Back over to Zero Pilot. We're going to maintain the 113.1 since we're not picking up the second one yet. All good. But we are going to dial in the next heading, which is going to be a 134 degree heading. Going to put it right about there. And we'll do the same thing again. We'll wait for the radial to start coming in. We'll begin a turn to about 125 or so. And then we'll pick up on the radial as we go. 3 or 4 miles out, we'll make that turn. Miles, getting a little bit of a right turn. There's some clouds around the area. We're about 125 degrees. Gonna do a weather check. We're looking at pretty much a dead-on crosswind of 7 knots at the destination airport. And still a few clouds in the 2 to 2.5 foot range. But other than that, not too bad. We've only got one runway there, so kind of stuck. At the moment, 2-3 is still in favor, though the wind is coming around, so we'll see what happens. So there's the VOR sliding behind us, and there comes the radio. In we go, beginning our turn. And we'll pick it up and settle in on it.
Caribou 32, block 553. What's your current distance from the November Victor VOR?
We just passed it, we're 5 miles.
Roger, we're 9.4 miles out.
Roger that. We do not have you in visual yet.
Roger, do you want me to send flight level 110?
I seem to be slightly offset from you to your, looks like your left, so I may be able to pass by you, whether you're having to adjust.
Yeah, but okay, that sounds good, because we're going to see Mike Tango Alpha VOR, which is from the HTDA Navels. So, we can slow down a bit, and I think you might end up able to slide past us for about 5:30.
What's your current heading? I'm on a 134.
Current indicated heading is kind of around 138-ish.
Okay, so let's say we're going to be deviating, and you're going to be moving off to my right, so we should be clear of each other.
Okay, perfect, cheers. I'll put back on speed, sir.
Roger. Alright, so it looks like Kevin is going to be passing by on this side of me. Just kind of slowly working his way to another navigate out here. We're going to do a little bit of Shouldn't be a long dead reckoning. It's 226 miles to the next one. We've been getting over 100 miles of range, so maybe for 15-20 miles we'll have a little bit of dead space. I'm going to run Molly out. I'm going to give you guys the nose view here, and we'll watch the scenery. And I'll be back on once I'm back up with Molly. Back in a bit. back on mic here. Looks like we've got air traffic control has come up. Dar es Salaam Center is online. And we've turned in that frequency. 123.3. We're now heading southbound, kind of down along the coast, but we're more targeting the island of Zanzibar, which is dead ahead. It's 179 miles between the VORs. Our destination VOR is on the field, so we're looking at currently about 160 miles to go. And shortly we're going to get ATC coming up, so we'll be dialing him in. Yeah, cloudy out as well. Very true. So given that there's no other traffic around at the moment, Honeycomb is going to be, we're not going to be making any calls before then. Switch over to 1233. We'll just wait here and we'll give them a call as we get closer. Beverage before we head down. So we are actually along the coast here. Look out, see the water. There's the coastline. We're going to work our way further out over the water. As I said, we're going to be crossing right over Zanzibar, the island and the town itself. Pretty much, we could be descending at that point too, so we might be below the clouds and get a better view of it. We just got dinged. All right. Dar es Salaam Center, good evening. Caribou 32 with you, flight level 130.
Caribou 32, Dar es Salaam Control, reset your transponder 3300.
Transponder to 3300, Caribou 3.
And Salaam, a very good afternoon or evening to you. Box 553, currently flight level 130.
Box 533, Dar es Salaam, reset transponder 3301.
3301, box 553.
Alright, we're going to kill the music here just because we're going to be talking to him and I don't want to interfere too much.
Caribou 32, you are identified flight level 130. Your duty or direction of flight. Speaking levels are required. Can you accept flight level 140 or 120?
We'll descend down to flight level 120.
After that, you can descend down to flight level 120 as your final and confirm it directly to Dar es Salaam Airport or you directly to the VOR?
Currently directly to the airport. I believe 17 is in use and, 23 is in use and we'd be looking if possible for vectors for that.
Caribou 23, roger. Let me take a look at the winds and I'll get back to you with the active weather.
Roger that, Caribou 3. Alright, so we're going down to...
553, you are heading fine, flight level 130. Please your direction of flight, even levels are required. Heading accept flight level 120 or 140.
Also, we'll descend to flight level 120 for box 553.
So here's the thing with that. It is the direction of flight between your origin and your destination, which in this case, the destination was east of our origin, which was
Also, descend flight level 120, maintain the
numbers,
separation from the Caribou for box 553. Thanks.
And so just because this leg happens to be going on a westward heading doesn't mean that we actually dial or down to a different altitude every time we switch direction. But whatever, that's fine. It's our last leg. Alright, 300 feet to go. There's 200 feet to go. No, he's fairly quiet.
Caribou 32, I'm showing the winds at Salaam at 130 degrees at 7 knots. QNH 1016, transition altitude 2500, transition level flight level 030. And you want the VOR Yankee for 05?
We can do 05. Yeah, and we'll do the VOR Yankee for it.
Roger, you can accept that.
Alright, so it's, we're logged in at 12,000. We're going to
Box
switch
553, you can also plan for the
VOR
Yankee runway 05. Winds
05.
130 degrees at 7 knots, QNH 10.
Alright, so this is going to,
Thank you much for plan for the VOR approach, VOR Yankee approach from a 05, QNH 1016 and wind to copy to box 553. Thanks.
basically we're going to go into the VOR and then we're going to fly a big teardrop loop out. Looks like what is that? 10 miles and then around. So we're going to hit the VOR at 2,300 feet, and then we'll go out and circle around and come back in, and then it's going to be pretty much like a visual approach from there, which is fine. Oh, and we're now picking up the VOR. Alright, so come up top. We're going to switch over to 112.7 after we lock in here. So lock in gyro. Up we go. VOR is going over to 112.7. That is the Delta Victor VOR, which is the VOR on the field. And we will head straight for it. Come back on. We're 125 miles out. Alright, so we're going to want a heading of 227 after we cross over the VOR. And then we'll fly outbound. And then we'll make our turn 10 miles out. We're going to come on to a 047 on the radial for our landing. We're going to want about a 700 foot per minute descent rate. missed approach is basically we came straight ahead. At 1,200 feet, we turn back to the VOR. And then we would try again. But not expecting anything with the weather. We are going to have about a 7-knot crosswind. Clouds have moved off to the coast. The sun is going down. And again, we're going to start down about 65 nautical miles out. We want to get down to 300 miles. It's 10,000 feet, so that's about 60 miles out. Then we'll start down. It's okay, Molly. You're all right. We've got 56 miles to go. So I'm assuming this controller is good for a whole bunch of centers in Africa, and he just looks to see where traffic is, and then decides he's going to jump in there. It's one way to do it. Airport. We're passing one island here. There's, you can see some of the, well, I don't know if you can see it. Some of the road stuff out there. That is, what island is that? It'll give it to me. No, it's not really giving me that information. Zanzibar is Zanzibar City. Apparently it's a really nice place to visit. And home of the legendary Freddie Mercury. .46 miles out from Papa Descent. While he's hearing somebody outside. She's hanging out by the door now. .40 miles to go. Again, we're going to use this one here to hit a heading of 227, roughly. And that'll take us, it'll go to 2.
Caribou 32.
Caribou 32.
Confirming estimate for start of descent.
We're looking approximately another 40 miles, so that would be about 7 minutes.
Roger. When ready, descend to flight level 030.
Roger, when ready, descend to flight level 030 for Caribou 32.
Box 153 and ready, descend to flight level 0050.
Roger, when ready to send flight level 050 for Box 553.
So we're about 35 miles out. We're not too bad because we got to shoot 10 miles past to come around, and that's another 10 miles. So that would give us, the 10 miles past would give us 70 miles. So we should be good. We'll just have to watch terrain over Zanzibar itself, but we should be far enough along. In fact, I can see Zanzibar coming in. There it is there. We can start to see the island. So we should be far enough down it, but when we start, that terrain shouldn't be an issue. I don't think it's a very mountainous place. I don't know if the add-on pack added anything into Dar es Salaam. We'll see. There is a cargo area. Kevin, I don't know if you looked at it. If we look up by... Well, I guess it's up near Terminal 2. There's a cargo with a cargo apron. That's where we'll be looking at heading. Not sure if there's parking spots there. It's not really showing any. But we'll see when we get there. If not as a first, then I'll just make sure there's room for you to pull in. Coming up for 85 miles. We're doing 254 knot ground speed. So we'll do our checks here. Pop up top. There's our fuel. Just about an hour and 50 minutes or so of fuel per engine. We'll be down on the ground in about 30 minutes. So got well over an hour's reserve fuel on board. Pressurization is good. Everything else is looking good. Pop down here. BMEP is good. Fuel pressures are good. Manifold pressure is good. Fuel flow is all good. Slightly high on 3 and 4, but that's fine. Oil pressures on all 4 engines are good, along with RPMs. Outside air temperature is about 4 degrees. Oil temperatures are good. Cylinder head temperatures are good. And carb heats are fine. Temperatures and pressures are good. There we are, 82 miles out. Molly's lying in front of the door. French is not in here with me anymore. Kevin back there. Not seeing him. That's fine. I will set up so when we're on the ground, I've got a forward view for taxi. There's Zanzibar City. I'd have Zanzibar City over there. So we're down to 3,000 feet. According to the approach, it is a 2,300 foot overhead, but that will do the initial 3,000 feet. That won't be an issue. So we're pretty much going to be starting down when we hit the Zanzibar coast. 9 miles to go, just coming up on the northern tip of the island. We'll go down at 65, which is pretty much on the coastline. I'm going to get my in-range checks done before we hit the airport, and then right as we hit the airport we'll do our landing and get everything else down. And good there. So there's 65 miles coming up, so we're going to release altitude hold, dial down to about 1,000 foot per minute descent rate. And speed will come up. There we go. We'll just let her settle in, see where she falls. One more notch. About 900 feet per minute is fine. We'll monitor that. We'll go a little bit more if we need to. We're down to 3,000 feet, not 2,000. So it's all good. This might actually be Salaam there. I think that's Zanzibar there. There's the strait between them. There's 11,000 feet, so we'll do our descent checks.
26 inches, please. Setting 26 inches. Inches set. Descent checkpoints, please. Altimeters and flight instruments cross-checked. Seatbelt signs on. On. Engine blowers low. Low. Descent checks are complete.
So there's the Zanzibar airport. Descent checks are complete. 10,000 feet. Thousand feet per minute, 12 minutes out. Should be good. The
Caribou 35, expect radar vectors for the VOR Yankee, runway 05, via radar vectors to the final approach course. I expect vectors in the next 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, Roger, we'll expect the vectors for the VOR Yankee runway 05 approach, Caribou 3. Alright, 50 miles to go, there's 9,000 feet. Zanzibar City. Airport's over there. There's the coastal city of Zanzibar City. Very nice. So we descend down through 8,500 feet. Moving on that descent rate. So 8,000 feet, it's 5,000 to go. May take us north of the airport and around. We'll see what he does. There's enough clearance. $7,500. Miles from the airport. So Kevin is just crossing over to the north shore on the northern end of Zanzibar. What I'm going to do now, since we're going to get vectors, I'm going to gyro lock that. I'm going to turn this to 0047. It's right there. There's my DME and my radial for the runway. Keep flying this course until he gives us vectors. 5,000 to go. Feet coming up. Not making it at the airport yet. It is on the other side of the city. You see coming in there. Somewhere just at the upper edge of that light area. If that's coming through on the YouTube, which I'm not sure it is. It's still pretty dark. 30 miles out from the airport, 2,000 feet to go on the descent. We're out over the water between Zanzibar and the main coast here. I believe it's up the other end. Upon landing, we're going to be on 05. It's going to be a left-hand turn off the runway. All right, it's 3,500. We'll get ready to start to decrease our rate of descent. And we're 23 miles out. 20 miles out, we'll begin our in-range checks. 300, speed starting to come back as we shallow our rate of descent. Just 200. 3,100. 3,000 feet. Aircraft is going to level off. There we are, stable at 3,000. We can now do our in-range checks.
Cooling turbine. Normal. Fuel booster pumps. On low. Fuel tank selectors. Mains on, crossfeed off. Hydraulic bypass valve. Down. No smoking signs. On. In-range checks complete.
Alright, so speed's coming back. Should slowly work.
Capetown is a visual approach good for you, or you still want to do the DOI Yankee 5?
No, I'm good with the visual approach if you give me vectors to the intercept for it.
Radar vectors for the visual approach, runway 05.
Sounds good to me. Caribou 32. $17 miles out. Speed slowly coming back. speed's about 178 right now. See out there, outside air temperature is almost 20 degrees. Turn off the heater. Definitely not required now. Miles, that could be the runway right there.
Box 553, continue descent to flight level 030.
Continue descent to flight level 030 for box 553.
Miles out. 10 miles we'll do our landing checks, before landing checks.
Caribou 32, turn right heading 230. Radar vectors for the downwind leg.
Turning right heading 230, Caribou 32. Okay, right turn 230. For landing checklist, please.
Setting flaps 20.
Watch that speed. Try to keep it up around 170.
20 flaps set. Mixtures rich, please.
230.
Auto rich. Mixtures set. Gear up and down, please. Gear up and down.
Box 553, still on vectors for the ZOR Yankee, and would you like a visual?
Gear down and locked.
So we'll take the visual for box 553. Need to practice anyways.
400 RPM.
Roger, you can expect a visual for runway 05.
2400.
Thank you very much. I'm expecting visual for 05 box 553.
Plus 3 degrees. Cal flaps set. ADI. ADI off.
You're down 3 green.
Landing lights. Speed good. Extending lights.
Lights coming down. So you can go flaps 20 any point above the white line, flaps 30 on the thin line, and then flaps 40 and landing flaps below the 120 mark. So given it's still pretty warm out, though we're down at sea level, we're still going to be landing at about 115. We're fairly heavy. So we're going to try to bring her in at about 130 as our approach speed. Okay, now 165, 170 for our downwind. See the blue lights, the airport's over there, off of our left side. Speed's good at holding.
Caribou 32, turn left. heading 195.
Left turn heading 195, Caribou 32. $210, 200, 195.
Caribou 32, descend to 2,300 feet, QNH 1016.
I'm already set to 1016. Roger, descend 2,300, QNH 1016, Caribou 32. Alright, let's down here, 10.
Caribou 32 airport should be off to your left at about 8 miles, confirmed field in sight.
And there's the field over there. Yeah, Roger, we have the field in sight.
Roger, clear left base, visual runway 05, final descent gear discussion.
Roger, clear left base 05, final descent, our discretion, Caribou 32.
1553, turn right, 230.
Right turn 230, box FSA.
Bring that down. So we want to go to 05, please turn. Pull up on the descent. Altitude hold. So 056789, so it's going to be 180, 60. The base, roughly about there. That's good enough. There's the airport over there, 2300. Alright, I'm going to bring the power back now. Runway. Good. Try to keep that 160. Runway. Yeah, it is. One of the hardest landings I was doing was night landings with minimal lighting. It's very disorientating. So there's the runway. There's the airport. So we're going to fly down to beat up on the extended center line there and make our turn inbound. All right, so turning to 145. Here's the runway coming around. Or is it, sorry, it's 147.
Block 553, turn left heading 190, descend
Right about there.
2,300 feet,
There's
QNH
the airport ahead of us.
1016.
After left 190, descend 2,300, QNH 1016, box FSA.
Alright, so we're going to take over now. We'll disengage the altitude hold, disengage the autopilot. Caribou 32 is on the visual runway 05 at the arsenal.
Caribou 32, clear to land runway 05, surface wind 170 degrees, 6 knots.
Roger, clear to land 05, Caribou 32. Alright, so...
Caribou, correction. Box 553, the airport should be off to your left. And
Alright, speed coming
couple
back.
miles at 9 o'clock and traffic non-final. Confirm field inside.
Field and traffic inside for box 553.
Flaps 30.
And clear left on left base visual runway 05, final descent near discussion.
Roger, clear left base, runway 05, final descent registration for box 553. Thanks.
Speed up to about 130. We got that wind's coming out of the right. 40-degree flaps. Not seeing any lights to assist. Crab going. Flaps full. Bringing that power up. Try to maintain that 125, 130. Okay, gear down 3 green, flaps full. Props set. Cockpit ready. Lights are on. 20 over the fence. A little bit of buffeting, wind. We got room to land, so we'll have to get her right down early. 20. There we go. Work the crab. 115, 115, 15. On the brakes on the center line, which is surprising for me. Going down to Zulu as the exit point. We're on the center line until I looked at the charts.
Box 553, runway 05, clear to land, surface wind 170 degrees, 6 knots.
Thank you very much, clear to land runway 05, box 553.
Whoa! Just kind of almost flew right by Zulu there. Forgot how heavy this thing was. Did not quite want to stop. That's okay. Hold it off.
Caribou 32, confirm your freighter.
Yeah, Caribou 32, it's clear 05 at Zulu.
Roger, you carrying cargo, confirm?
Roger, we are cargo.
Alright, continue on Papa. It's gonna be a left turn on to Papa and then a right turn on to Gate Delta.
Delta?
And confirm you're familiar with the airport.
We do have charts, left Papa and then gate Delta. Do you want us to go a little bit further to the cargo apron, or do we go in off gate Delta?
Yeah, gate Delta, so you're gonna continue on to Papa, and it's gonna be your second right turn. That's gate Delta.
Yeah, Roger. We have that on the chart. Thank you. So Papa to gate Delta for Caribou 32. All right, let's do the after landings. And we'll get ourselves out of here. Taxi up. Big congestion area. This is first gate. We don't want. We're going to take the second one. And there's Kevin coming in. Nice. Here to the cargo side. Go. Welcome to Dar es Salaam. The aircraft shut down.
Parking brake is set. Cut entrance.
We're going to open up a window here. Get some cool air in.
Box 553 via Zulu, Papa gate Delta parking at your discretion.
Thank you much. Zulu Papa to gate Delta for box 553 parking discussion. Cheers.
And there go the lights. Ground power hooked up.
Parking checks complete. A-plan secure.
There we go. Ground power is on. Come down here. Let's get the doors open. Bill chocks, oil pans, and all that stuff in. All right, another great flight and then another great landing here. Oh. GSX, are you gonna let me do it from here? No, they don't think I'm parked. Well, that's okay, they can unload it overnight. So here comes Kevin. Good flight, everybody. Thank you for flying along, and thanks for watching. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, clicking that like button, leave a comment if you wish, and come over to the Discord. Links are in the description. You can find out when and where we fly. And yes, my flights are open to everybody if you want to come along. So you can fly these legs with us as well. Take care. We'll see you on the next one, which is tomorrow. Bye for now.